is John Cole with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and it's always a good day at Discount Juicers when we get a brand new juicer that I get to share with you guys, because, you know, for me, this is my first time getting this juicer, and I'm actually going to open it up, show you guys what comes in the box, share with you guys my opinions about the juicer, but more importantly, put it to the test and show you guys how this juicer works before anybody else has done this. This is the Omega TWN30S. That's the twin gear juicer by Omega. Now, this is not Omega's first twin gear juicer, but it is their first twin gear juicer in a very long time. So this is 2015, and this is their brand new twin gear juicer. Way back in the day, man, back when I probably started selling juicers, man, I don't even know, like back in the 90s maybe, maybe early 2000s. Omega had the Omega 8000 model, which is their original twin gear juicer that later they discontinued. And then when they went more towards the single auger design, being the horizontal single auger, starting off with the Omega 8001, 8002, 8003, 8004, 8005, 8006, 8007, and 8008, and then getting in to the vertical single auger juicers, the Omega VRT330, the Omega VRT350, and now the all-new VSJ843. And so, you know, they discontinued the twin gear because they all went towards a single auger, but now they're feeling they want to go back to the twin gear because maybe it offers some advantages, you know, that the single augers don't. And I could definitely say that every juicer has their own set of pros and cons. So I like that Omega has now come out with a twin gear juicer. Hopefully it'll just raise the bar for everybody out there that has a twin gear juicer, and hopefully it's a new and better twin gear juicer than all the others, because they've had time, I'm sure, to play with all the other brands, and hopefully they've made theirs, you know, better and taken it to the next level. So I find it quite curious that now Omega's coming out with their own twin gear juicer, and it's actually priced more than their single auger horizontals and their vertical single augers, because to me, you know, the twin gear juicers have a few more parts to clean and a bit more, you know, difficult to use, and the single gears, especially the verticals, are my favorite style because they're super simple, super easy to use. So in any case, let's go ahead and get to the unboxing to show you guys this TWN30S. I'm sure the S stands for the silver, and that's what this is the silver color. So right on the box here, it has a full 15-year warranty, so that's something I really like. I really want to encourage all juicer manufacturers out there to have a long warranty, basically to give the customer confidence the machine is a solid build machine and it's going to be around for years, and allow you to make the healthy lifestyle changes in your life that you want, which basically is being able to easily include more fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet, right? I look at a warranty as like an insurance policy, right? It's the best insurance policy you could have for your health. Like, my brother's talking about getting life insurance in case something happens to him so his wife and kid will be taken care of. But like, that does nothing for your wife and kid once you're gone. Yeah, it gives them money, but you're not there, man. That's not a fun place to be. Not there. So a better insurance policy for my brother would be to invest in a juicer like this with a 15-year warranty. He'll be guaranteed for 15 years. This machine will be able to juice fruits and vegetables so that it'll be healthier, in my opinion. By consuming more fresh fruits and vegetables, you will be healthier and you will be around for many years to come, provided you also get rid of some of the other things that you may be eating that are not so healthy. And you guys know what that is. That's things like fast food, junk foods, processed foods, you know, animal foods in excess. All this kind of stuff is not healthy foods. The fruits and vegetables and other plant foods are the best foods on earth that I definitely advocate you eat plenty of. And the juicer allows you to do that, and the juicers with the long warranties, they're really good, so I like it. So yeah, the 15-year warranty, longest warranty for any twin gear juicer on the market at this time. So also on the box it says preserves nutrients, low speed dual gears, rotation and spring tension creates pressure to release a concentrated juice with almost no foam. So that's quite interesting to me that they say and make this claim on the package, because all twin gear juicers will foam if you're not feeding in like hard vegetables. So if you're juicing to like straight wheatgrass or straight leafy greens, it's going to foam, and I bet this one will too if I do straight greens. So it also says twin gear technology triturating action crushes, mixes, and squeezes produce to release a rich colored juice that is also richer in nutrients and minerals. Easy operation. Produce self-feeds as gears rotate inward for an easier juicing process. Juice fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, and wheatgrass. So I think there is some marketing fluff in some of these claims, and I'm going to be sure to put those to the test. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open the box up and see what we got inside. So of course, inside we have a nice user's manual, and of course, aside from the user's manual, we have a warranty card, and it has a little note that says, "Stop! Questions or problems, do not return to the store. Call us. We're here to help." And Omega now has a new customer service number that I was not aware of. It's 1-877-368-2797. You could also email them at support@omegajuicers.com. So that's the instruction book. Now you got the main juicer body here, and this one actually is really reminiscent to me of the Omega NC800. You know, it's probably made at the same factory. I'm not actually quite sure. Looks very similar, and you know, it's nice light. So this is a little bit lighter than many of the other twin gear juicers on the market. The on and off and reverse switch is in the back. 3-prong plug, probably about a 6-foot cord, and on the bottom it says a juice extractor. Let's see, 120 volts, 60 hertz, 150 watts. So this one, and it's a ETL listed, and it also has about 2 horsepower equivalent of squeezing power. So this is the main juicing body. Also in there, you're going to get a pusher. So I do like the wooden pusher to use when pushing food into the twin gear juicers. Now, yes, the wood may get worn down in the twin gears, but basically the wood is a food grade quality wood that basically will just may get ground up and just come out with the pulp if it does that, but I've seen very little wear on some of these harder wood plungers. Let's see what else we got in the box here. Alright, so we have also a plastic plunger. Actually, I would prefer to use the wood plunger instead of plastic. In addition, we got the main juicing body coming right out, and that's right here, and this just basically attaches on the unit right here. So we're going to open that and shove this in there, and then we can hit the close. And so that's nice and compact. You know, this is a lot more compact than some of the other twin gear juicers on the market. And let's take a look next. We got some kind of a wrench to maybe undo the end cap if it gets stuck. So I think that's kind of smart. And finally, I think there's one last piece in here. Oh, here it is. It's the cleaning brush. So the cleaning brush is imperative to help clean the juicer once you're done. This is a nice hard nylon bristle brush that's used to clean the screen out specifically, and you have a nice little a point on the end to dislodge pulp out of some of the areas that may get stuck. And I do like that they have this point instead of a screwdriver end, because I know in some of the nooks and crannies in here this will be more effective than a screwdriver end. Alright, let's see, going through the last box here. Inside looks like we have our catch cups. So I do like that they actually included for once a screen to sift out additional foam, and then you have a 1 catch cup for the juice that goes right under here. Then you can put the screen on there, and then you have 1 larger catch cup for all the pulp that goes right underneath there. And I mean, I think that's actually everything in the box except for one last thing. And that's the alternate juicing screen. So Omega gives you 1 fine hole screen if you don't want that much pulp in your juice, and this is good for juicing things like carrots and vegetables and leafy greens and wheatgrass. And if you want some pulp in your juice and you're juicing fruits, then you're going to want to use this screen, which actually has much larger holes. Now I think the thing that is really sad about this model Omega juicer, unlike other Omega horizontal single auger juicers, is that all those machines include what's called a blank plate or homogenizing plate, which they could have easily done on this machine. That'll allow the user to make things like frozen banana sorbet, nut butters, nut cheeses, pâtés, and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, I think it's really sad that they did not include this part that all other twin gear juicers on the markets do. And I mean, this would just give you more multi-function use. So maybe, Omega, if you're listening, you guys will come out with this and start including it with your machine. Alright, so that's everything that's in the box. Let's go ahead and get this box out of the way. We'll come back at you and take this guy apart. Alright, so now as you guys can see, we have the juicer here, nice and clean, and I'm going to take this guy apart one part at a time to show you guys the disassembly and then reassembly of the machine. It is super simple, super easy. Of course, we have our catch spins that just easily go underneath here. And then on the end here we have the outlet adjusting knob. So the job of the outlet adjusting knob is that it has a little spring inside there. And what this spring does, it keeps some nice hard tension on the produce to keep it inside the machine, and only lets the produce out once it is dry and once there's sufficient pressure to push it out. So this means you'll probably get a higher yield. So this is a pro and a con. So on things like vegetables and leafy greens, this works relatively well. The challenge is with softer fruits, this actually doesn't work well, and then fruits get a log jam or a backup in here. So in which case, normally I would recommend you guys screw this all the way in to juice things like wheatgrass and carrots and leafy greens and other vegetables. And then if you're juicing fruits, you might have to even unscrew this all the way or unscrew this halfway to let some of the fruit pulp out, all right? So that is your outlet adjusting knob. Some other companies include a fruit attachment, which is basically an outlet knob with a softer spring tension for doing fruits, but something similar could be accomplished by not screwing this in all the way. The next part is this end cap here, and this just acts like a big nut to hold on this piece right here, which is more critical. And this piece basically holds the gears in place and allows all the pulp to come out and flow through it, and this is the piece that the outlet adjusting knob kind of attaches onto, okay? We're going to screw that guy all the way in. Next, of course, we have our twin gears. We're going to go ahead and pull these guys out, and these are little small mini twin gears. This does not have the far infrared technology or magnetic technology in it like some of the other twin gear juicers on the market at this time. And so, you know, Omega chose not to do that technology. There's pros and maybe some cons of that technology. I personally believe that technology is a good thing. And so their gears here are kind of like other mini twin gear juicers on the market at this time. Basically, it's just, nylon and stainless steel. And, you know, the competitor's product actually has a 3-stage juicing on their twin gears. And this one is a 2-stage juicing, in my opinion. Number one, it has the crushing stage, which is all this section, plus it has the pocket recessed teeth, which are required for chopping up things like celery strings. And then it goes in to the last section, so this is crushing, and then we have the squeezing section, which is the nylon on the gears. And the other section of this is the mixing section. So in an upcoming comparison, when I'm comparing this to competitor brands, you'll see actually a 3-stage system where they crush, mix, and then squeeze. So this is just crushing and squeezing. So yeah, don't drop the gears. They're probably fragile and they will break, and they're probably quite a pretty penny. The one thing I do want to mention to you guys about the gears is that on the back of the gears, I don't know if you guys could see that, but this gear has 2 dots and this gear has 1 dot. So always when assembling this machine, you want to make sure the single dot is between the 2 dots when assembling it. Otherwise the gears are going to not be lined up properly and it's not going to be a good thing. So you want to always line up your gears. Next we have that juicing screen. So this is the juicing screen. It actually has some mighty fine holes in there, and it's nice and clear on part of it, so I kind of like that. And then finally we have the main body housing and a detachable funnel lid. So this is a lot more lighter duty than some of the other twin gears on the market. So like if you don't like lifting heavy things, this might be a good thing. But I'm a little bit concerned about the long-term durability of this, because especially when juicing something like wheatgrass, a lot of pressure could back up in here, and there's not any thumb screws or latches or anything holding this down. It's literally just some plastic parts that's seated on, but time will tell on how this does in real world testing. So the next thing we're going to do is going to go ahead and assemble the machine. So the first step is you're going to go ahead and take the main body and put this into the motor housing. It's going to be on the open. Over here we're going to go ahead and slide that to closed. Next we're going to go ahead and take the funnel piece that just slips in right there on top. Next we're going to go ahead and take that screen, and this hole in the screen is face up. We're going to go ahead and shove that all the way right down the middle. And then we're going to line up our gears, make sure those 3 dots are lined up, and we're going to go ahead and stick the gears all the way in, right straight back. You might have to rotate the gears to get them to seat properly. And then we're going to take the outlet casing here that has the outlet adjusting knob and make sure this is going the right direction. Make sure it's not going the wrong way. It actually says up, so you want to make sure up is facing up, and this just kind of like goes right in there. And then finally we have the end cap here that just screws in nice and easy. So I do have to say this is one of the easiest and easier twin gear juicers to assemble. And I guess without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get some produce, and let's get juicing in this 160 RPM twin gear juicer by Omega. Alright, so I'm just back from my garden, and now we're going to juice some garden fresh goodness. Now I do want to encourage you guys to shop your local farmers markets to get the freshest and most organic produce possible. And even better yet, grow your own, because think about it, if you grow your own food that you're going to juice, it's free, right? Because organic produce can get quite expensive. So I have a combination of things I grew and also things that I bought at the store that I'm maybe not currently growing. And so what I'm going to juice in today's juice is a fresh Japanese suyu cucumber from my garden. Next we have some store-bought organic carrots, and the tip is at Costco organic carrots are the cheapest by pound in a 10-pound bag. And let's see here, the other thing we got are some of these guys, and these guys, if you guys look at them, these guys are actually stinging nettles. So these are going off in my garden right now. And no better way to use the stinging nettles than to juice them, because that gets rid of the little stingers that sting it. And yes, I have gotten stung while I'm picking and preparing these guys today. Next we have a beet from my garden. We have an organic apple, and then we have some celery here. So these are all different textures, so we could put the Omega twin gear juicer to the test. Now before we turn it on, I want to let you guys know that when you're juicing in any slow juicer, and that's a juicer that runs under 200 RPMs, let's say, you always want to rotate the produce items you're putting in. So instead of juicing all the stinging nettle, all the apple, all the beet, all the celery, and then all the carrot, you're going to put in a little bit of the stinging nettle, followed by a little celery, followed by a piece of apple, followed by a piece of beet, followed by the celery, followed by the carrot, and repeat that until you're all out of produce. So let's go ahead and turn this machine on that runs at a low and slow 160 RPMs. Now Omega's slowest juicer is the Omega VSJ843, and that runs at 43 RPMs, so 160 RPMs. I know it's like 4 times as fast. One of the things I like about this machine is that literally it'll suck in the leafy greens. And with this machine you should be able to juice the stems and all, so we're going to see how this works, because I know with other twin gear juicers I have juiced the stems and all. Now the feed chute here, I want to go ahead and show you guys the size on that. That's approximately 1.5 inches in diameter circular, it appears to me. So that's actually quite big. We're going to go ahead and try to turn this guy on and shove this right in the machine. Look at that! It almost sucks it. Look, it sucked it all right in. It's juicing my stinging nettles right up, and no juice is coming out yet. We got a little bit of juice coming out the pulp side. Next we're going to go ahead and maybe put in a piece of celery there. And on the stinging nettles, it was definitely auto feeding, as it will be on other leafy greens and even wheatgrass. But on the celery, auto feed fail. This is something that other Omega vertical juicers can't auto feed, which is a feature I like. So you will have to take the pusher and push in the celery, push it in with your hand at first, and then use the pusher. Once again, I do like the wooden pusher to push each piece of produce through. Now, as you guys can see, the pulp is finally flowing out the back, and the juice is flowing into the catch cup, and actually there's a lot of pulp being caught that's being held back by the screen. Next, let's go ahead and cut this cucumber up for you guys. And we're going to go ahead and cut this into fourths so it'll easily fit into the machine, and feed it right in. Nice and watery and a much softer consistency to see if the pulp actually backs up in here or is actually fed out. So it looks kind of like it's doing a little bit of both. We got a little bit of a pulp clog in the machine here, and this is what happens on softer things. You will get some jamming in the chute, and it's not working its way through, and that's when you're going to take something a little bit harder like the stinging nettles, and it's going to suck it right in there once again, pretty much, and that's going to help push some of the softer fiber through, hopefully. If that doesn't work, then you can take something harder like a celery and push that in there, and let's see how that works. And it might be good to feed the celery into smaller pieces here. And then we're going to have to go ahead and use the pusher there and shove that guy in. I am eating some resistance, and as you guys can see, it's starting to spit out the pulp a little bit slowly. Next, we're going to go ahead and feed that other half of celery in there. It's a bit challenging to use any twin gear juicer, and the Omega twin gear juicer is no different. It looks like we got most of our pulp backup cleared out, but it looks like we got a lot of pulp, collecting in the strainer. But actually, we've got a fair bit of juice. Next, to clean out this whole area, we're going to go ahead and put in 1 carrot. Oh, and our carrot is such a large diameter at the top, we're actually going to have to cut that in half. Otherwise, it's not going to fit. All right, once again, feeding this carrot into the twin gear. It's actually grinding up, creating some pulp that's not getting fit in. I can see some of the juice coming out, and it's coming out of the machine. All right, we got it all put in there. Let's go ahead and feed in another cucumber. Going in a lot easier this time than the last time. A lot of juice being created. And let's go ahead and check out this pulp here. And I got this all the way, cranked down. And actually the pulp is fairly dry. I'm kind of impressed. No drips from the pulp. Let's see, I need to get rid of some of the stinging nettles because I continually am getting stung. I can feel it in my fingers, and this will probably go on for a few hours. Now, one of the things about some of these slow-running juicers, unlike a high-speed machine, is that you can effectively juice things like leafy greens, like the stinging nettles, which are very nutritious. Now, I do caution you guys, if you are going to juice stinging nettles, you might want to wear gloves, unlike me, because I am getting stung, but I'm kind of used to it. All right, so now we're feeding in the other half of the carrot, and carrots do take some downward force and pressure, to juice in any twin gear juicer, and the Omega twin gear is definitely no different. So, if you have arthritis in the hands, or, a little bit older and don't want to have to put forth the effort, then this might not be the juicer for you. Next, let's go ahead and put in some more celery. This is working a little bit better now. Now, to me, I'm seeing the juicing screen here is actually getting quite clogged up with juice. So I wonder if that's going to decrease the yield. Actually, we haven't juiced any of our apple yet, so let's go ahead and put that in there. It's going to be a nice softer consistency, so it actually may mush up a little bit. So I want to see how that works. I'm going to have to cut this a little bit smaller here because the feed chute is a little bit small. Once again, on the apple, as you guys can see, it's pretty much just mushing up and creating excess pulp in the feed chute. And you can see all the extra pulp there. It's not really going through because it's so soft. And that's why we need to follow with some celery to help that go through. And now out the outlet adjusting portion here, I can see small little bits of pulp come out. So that means to me that there's some kind of blockage in there, which means the yield is actually definitely going to go down. And we got a lot of pulp buildup in our screen here, so I'm going to try to shake that down a little bit to get this go down before we juice some more, because otherwise we're going to be overflowing here. Alright, let's go juice part of the beet, see how that works. Nice and hard consistency. A little bit difficult to push through, but when we did, I could instantly see the juice starting to come out of the beet there. Definitely takes some force to push the beet in there, and instantly the beet pulp is actually coming out the machine. Let's go ahead and get rid of some more of these stinging nettles. They're such a nuisance here. I'm continually getting stung until I put them all through the juicer. Alright, let's go ahead and put some more apple in there, and since we got the spout unclogged, let's go ahead and put a few apples in there to show you guys what happens if you're just trying to juice straight fruits in the Omega Twin Gear juicer. As you guys can see, I'm getting quite a bit of a backup in the feed chute here. And this is generally what happens with all twin gears, and because the Omega feed chute's clear, you actually see it jamming up in there. So to rectify that situation, I want to put something hard in like carrots or celery, and that's going to help draw some of that soft apple pulp through the machine. And once again, this is a reason why you rotate what you're putting in, and don't just put a ton of apples, because then it's just actually going to clog up on you like it did for me. Alright, we got 2 sting nettles left. Shove these guys in there. I really like how the Omega Twin Gear literally sucks the greens right through the machine. Last we got 1 carrot, and we're going to feed that guy through there. It's always good to end on a carrot, and that's going to really help push all that pulp through. Here's the sting nettle pulp that's actually now I can touch and squeeze, and now it's not going to sting anymore. Alright, it's taking a little bit of downward force to push this carrot in there. All the carrot pulp has gone through, and I think I ran out of space, so we're actually going to save the cucumber for later. And that's it, juicing in the Omega Twin Gear. And now we're going to go ahead and shake down this pulp, and we're going to show you guys what I got. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn this machine off, and yes, this machine is getting a little bit warm, and I smell a faint residue of like that new appliance burn-in smell, which is actually quite normal for most juicers. I'm going to go ahead and put the pulp catch bin underneath so any drips that go on the counter, and I want to show you guys all the fiber that was collected by this screen. It's actually still kind of juicy, so I'm going to try to wiggle this out and get some more of this fiber or the juice through the screen. This is actually quite a thick juice here, probably due to the stinging nettles. Maybe we'll set this guy on top. I like that that actually fits up there nice and easy. And we're going to go ahead and take and try to pour this off into my glass. Alright, I like when a juicer has a nice pour spout there. Alright, so it looks like I got about maybe 30 ounces of juice out of the Omega Twin Gear juicer, TWN30S, and we're going to go ahead and try it. It's quite good. Like, I'm kind of noticing like a frothy texture, which is kind of curious to me. I'm not sure if that's because of my specific recipe, and I have used similar recipes before without a frothy texture. And it seems like really full-bodied, which is nice. You know, I want to go ahead and take out the pulp here and squeeze the pulp for you guys. If I squeeze the pulp, actually it does quite a good job. I'm actually quite impressed. There's no drips that came out of my hand. This means actually it's quite efficient, which I'm actually quite impressed with. Although it did create, you know, a fair bit of, particles in the juice that got strained out with their strainer here. The next thing I want to do is actually take this machine apart and show you guys inside what all the pulp collected and what everything looks like on the inside, because these are the parts that you will have to clean. So once again, we got this outlet adjusting knob. That's going to be fairly easy to clean. Next we got this attachment here, which we're just going to go ahead and rotate off, which is actually the collar, which is fairly easy to clean. Next we got this part coming out the end cap, which there is some produce stuck in there, but that's quite normal. Next we have the whole gear apparatus. So you guys can see this is the part that kind of got a little bit gooey, and this looks like some fiber had got around the screen, and some of the screen is actually clogged with fiber all the way around, although there's certain areas where it's clear. But nonetheless, I think it actually yielded quite a lot of juice. And let's take a look at these little gears. The gears are still cold, not hot, so this does not heat up your juice. And you know, it looks like it's pretty dirty and it's ready to get cleaned. Now the biggest thing I want to give you guys a tip is that I want you guys to clean the juicer right after you're done juicing. Even before you drink your juice, as important as it is to drink the juice right after you make it, it's probably a bit more important to clean your juicer, otherwise these hardcore colors will stain your juicer real nice. So I mean, that's pretty much the first run through of the Omega twin gear juicer. To me, it performed actually satisfactorily for their first twin gear juicer in many years. Be sure to subscribe to my videos if you're not already. I'll be sure to have an upcoming video comparing the Omega twin gear juicer to the Green Star Elite twin gear juicer, which is my favorite twin gear juicer on the market at this time. So it'll be interesting to see how this one compares to the de facto standard on the market. This one does come in at a little bit less expensive, but the Green Star has the established name, and Omega has built their name in single auger machines. Now the final thing I'd like to say is that this machine is made in Korea, where virtually all other twin gear machines are made at this time, which is really good because there are machines now coming in from China which I believe are of a much lower quality. So you want to look for a machine from Korea whenever you can, because in general they're fairly good machines in my opinion. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode learning about the all-new Omega twin gear juicer. Be sure to subscribe for my upcoming episodes. Be sure to check my past episodes. I have over 400 episodes comparing all different kinds of juicers so you guys could choose the right juicer for you. I'm looking forward to testing this Omega twin gear juicer more in the future. And be sure to check out our website at discountjuicers.com, where you could learn more information about these machines and purchase this machine if you'd like to go in your kitchen. Once again, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. This is a 9-minute juicing challenge, and I know many of you guys don't want to take the time to invest in your health, and your health is your greatest wealth, so I want to encourage you guys to take the time to invest in your health, whether that means, make